Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dead Unicorn, the tabletop role-playing game club. My name is Corey, and it's such a beautiful day out. I think I want to be out here, enjoying the sunshine. It's a beautiful June. Get out there, make the most of it. But also, hey, let's play some role-playing games. Today, I want to do a video about Everyday Heroes. It is a modern role-playing game, and modern gets thrown by the wayside a lot. I don't see a lot of modern games unless they're horror themed. But this one, this is for action. They have games for Highlander, Pacific Rim, Escape from New York, Kong Island, and many others. Evil Genius Games have just started buying up licenses and turn them into role-playing games. But is the game any good? Well, I want to say that I have been writing and rewriting this review for a long time. I just couldn't get a good angle on it, so I figured, let me just have a bunch of notes right here, and I'll just go through them bullet point by bullet point, and we'll just have a conversation about it. So in the role-playing game space, there is a huge amount devoted to fantasy, a huge amount devoted to sci-fi. So you can play an elf or a Vulcan. I mean, it's a wide gamut of things. So it's good that there is a niche being carved out for modern action games. And while they have licensed a lot of properties, the Everyday Hero core book is supposed to be able to become whatever game you want, whatever inspires you from, I don't know, Burn Notice, which we took Everyday Heroes and plugged Burn Notice into it, and we ran a game. It's on this channel. You should check it out. It worked wonderfully.
See, Mike, these are the important things in life.
I had such a fun time with that game. It was sad that it was only a one-shot. But also, you can do whatever you want. Knight Rider, Cleopatra 2525. I mean, we're all clamoring for the Cleopatra 2525 role-playing game. I know you are.
Cleopatra is about to discover there's no place like home.
At the core of Everyday Heroes, you have your Dungeons & Dragons 5e architecture. These are your rules. You have your levels, your classes, your hit points. So if you're familiar with those rules, or your gaming group doesn't want to make a jump to a new rule system, this can be a good bridge for that. This can let them keep what they know and build on it. That said, there are a lot of rules for Everyday Heroes that were made for this genre. So there is some learning, and that's going to start with character creation. So in normal Dungeons & Dragons, you have your class, which are like fighter, wizard, and then you have an archetype underneath that you get at level 3. And these are like your subgroup, your swashbuckler or your illusionist. Everyday Hero kind of flips that. Your archetype is now going to be a broad category, but these broad categories are going to be based on an ability score. So you're going to have a strong hero, an agile hero, a tough hero, a smart hero, a wise hero, and a charming hero. And you can focus in on that ability score. For example, strong is going to be strength, tough is going to be constitution, charming is going to be charisma. Underneath these archetypes are your classes, which are going to be a more focused type of character. For example, under strong, you have like your brawler or your heavy gunner. Under agile, you have a martial artist or a scoundrel. Tough, you got your bodyguards under tough naturally. Smart is going to be like a hacker, all the way down to your charming heroes with, manipulator classes. Each one of the archetypes have certain abilities, and each one of the classes have different abilities that build onto it, just like classes and archetypes in Dungeons & Dragons. Of course, the abilities that you get for each one of these archetypes and classes are going to be very different from the stuff you're going to be seeing in Dungeons & Dragons. So you're going to have to learn these new classes. There are a lot of cool classes that are going to replicate things that you see in your modern settings, in your action movies. And the stuff that you don't see, you can get in their companion book, The Vault. The biggest change you will see in classes is the number of levels you're going to get. Instead of 20 levels, they have 10 levels. And I think this is a very good change. And let me break that down for you. In most level-based games that I have played, around level 10, the game simply breaks down anyways. The balancing is off. Level 20 games, I mean, level 15 games simply stop kind of being fun for me because either they're just walkthroughs or the challenges are so hard they are impossible. Even at those high levels, it's balancing issues all the way. But here, it caps at 10, which makes things work way better, even at endgame time. One of the coolest things that you can do with just 10 levels is that your scaling can go up faster. You can become, or you can feel more powerful faster. And does Everyday Heroes take advantage of that? No. I'm sorry. You have to get over level 5 to actually really feel powerful in this game, which I think is a missed opportunity. Another fault of the game is multiclassing. Multiclassing is done through feats that allow you to get the special abilities of other classes. And it is not great because you're taking up a feat slot to get something from another class that may not be as good because you only get feats every few levels. And so you're constantly struggling to get better abilities that match the abilities of the level you're at. And it feels like you're constantly playing catch up while other people are buying feats that are way more powerful. That's one of the cool things in this game is feats. Every time you get a feat, you can get 2 minor or 1 major. The major are really great, but the 2 minor are stuff like ability scores or extra skills. You can get skills all the time in this game, and that's a good thing. I like that. It's really great to get skills in a modern game compared to like a fantasy game because these skills matter more. But even like in a fantasy game, there needs to be a way to just get more skills. It's one of the faults of 5e, and they took steps to try and correct that. Another thing in this game is you have a defense score and armor, and armor does not add to your defense. Defense is kind of like armor class, but it is more based on your class and your main attribute. So it is more about dodging and getting out of the way, and it's more based on your skills in that class rather than what your protection is. So what does armor do? Well, here they fully embrace the fact that hit points are not meat points. When you are hit with an attack, you lose hit points, which is you just, barely getting out of the way, barely dodging and spending your energy to fend off that attack. So when your hit points reach 0, that is when you're actually hit and you go down. That's where armor comes into play. When you would go to 0 hit points, instead, what you would do is make an armor saving throw. And if you make your armor saving throw, then you negate that damage. The armor absorbs it instead, which is pretty cool. I like this rule. Most of the heroes you see in action films don't use armor anyways. So downplaying armor as something you need to survive in a modern setting is a no-brainer. I think you kind of need that. Speaking of combat, there are some new combat rules like burst fire. I mean, you have weapons that are fully automatic, semi-automatic, so you're going to have new rules for that. And one of the rules is suppressive fire. I kind of like this rule. You might not, though. Basically, you take your fully automatic or like your semi-automatic weapon and you just lay down as much fire as you can in the area, and everybody in that area takes damage. There's no roll to hit needed. Everybody takes damage unless they dive for cover, which they need a reaction to have, and then they can take half of their movement to get out of the way or get behind something. I have no problem having a attack that you don't have to roll an attack roll for. I don't know. It's a weird rule, and it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. If you're constantly taking all of this damage with no roll, well, they added something in to help with that, and that is a second wind for all classes. You don't have to be a fighter. Everybody can use second wind in this game. Great, but one of the things I don't like, and this is true for all Dungeons & Dragons games, really, all games based on that, is a lack of really good social rules. And in modern games, you would think there would be some good social rules. But hey, it's an action-oriented setting. Their big social rule is called standoff, and that is where you have that tension between your hero and the bad guys, and it's kind of an intimidating thing, so you get a stare down. and you make a single roll, and whoever wins that roll, the loser backs down. But only if they're NPCs. The NPCs, if they lose the roll, they have to retreat or surrender. That's just what happens. You win the encounter, one roll. And if you're the player and you lose the standoff, you're supposed to be intimidated and you can surrender. You're given the option to surrender, but you don't have to. Basically, if you lose, there are no consequences. Nothing bad happens to you. You're not even given a shaken status or anything like that. Yeah, there's no downside to doing a stare down standoff at all every single encounter, because you can just walk right through it with one good roll. Don't like this roll? There are a lot of other rules in this game. There are some reasonable vehicle rules that work rather well. There are some rules for traps and poison. A lot of NPCs for you to use. If you're looking for a game that gives you that die-hard feeling, this is a good one. You're gonna have fun with it. Like I said, it has some flaws, but it's not anything you can't overcome. A good game master is gonna take this game and make something beautiful with it. So that is my review of Everyday Heroes. Go check out the Everyday Heroes live stream I did featuring Burn Notice. It's a great time, and maybe it'll teach you the game. Hope you have a lovely day, and I hope you check out City and Starlight. It's an adventure, a fantasy adventure I'm trying to get off the ground with BackerKit. I need about 80 supporters, so go and follow it so I can make it live and everybody can enjoy this wonderful game. Lastly, I have a Patreon and Discord. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel for more RPG reviews and everything RPG related. And yeah, go roll some dice.